Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Jeff. I'm Alex Stingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? We have a big show for you guys. And, of course, if you can see, we have the man himself, Fast Feet. We're going to introduce him in a second. But we want you guys to know that we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. And we got – he disappeared for a little bit, but we'll get it figured out. We have the next Virtual Fight Tour, November 20th. And, man, it's going to be a great one. There he is.
It's going to be a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal, man. There he is. He's back. Fast Feet.
Yeah.
What's up, my friend?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Welcome back to the show. This is your second time.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Oh, man. So, first, before we get into
and that you have, and we're going to have a...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
All right, yeah. Apologize, guys. Alex's internet is a little slow today, but we have...
I'm a little spotty, guys.
Pay the bill, man.
Yeah, we needed to talk about, before we go into the Virtual Fight Tour, we're going to talk about a passing of another legend. You know, last week we talked about Chuck Merriman, and this week we were talking about J. Pat Burleson. And it's fitting that we have Fast Feet here because just like us, he's a historian, and he loves and a fan of the sport and this art. And, so let's talk about the significance of this great man.
Well, first and foremost, again, my condolences to everyone there. And we're talking about a long legacy. Oh, yes. Man, Jamie Cashin has done a phenomenal job.
Yes, thank you. Jamie Cashin, man, this guy is...
Come on now.
He is an amazing person. If you haven't met Jamie, you probably haven't seen Pat over the past, maybe 10 years, 15 years? Because
Easily.
No matter where Pat's been, Jamie's been there by his side, helping him, being the guy to work with him. I mean...
Hey, Jamie's a superhero, man. This guy's a super fighter, too. I'm talking about firefighter, man. He's no joke,
Yes.
man. I'm talking about a heart of gold.
Yes. So again, explain, right, Alex knows the legacy of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so check this out. This is the real deal, guys. They might have been a whole bunch of champions, but there's only one first. The first national U.S. champion. That is no joke. First generation student of great Grandmaster Junri Oso, along with, of course, Grandmaster Alan Steen. This is Taekwondo 101, the beginning days of it all. And the descendants from that go all the way to Minnesota, etc., to Washington, D.C., because when it comes down to it, the Taekwondo, or what would be Junri Taekwondo, started in, of all places, Texas. All right? When
Texas,
Grandmaster Junri was going to school in Texas, along with Alan Steen. So we're talking about a blood and guts era. These guys are not just the top, but the epitome of. Because remember, 1966, his senior / instructor won the grand champion. That's 1966, the year that I was born. So that's all Taekwondo. That includes Ray McCallum. That includes Troy Dorsey. That includes Demetrius, the Greek Havanas. It also includes the Worley brothers. It includes Jeff Smith. And I'm going to stop there because otherwise I'm going to hyperventilate. But you know what? A man who literally has done so much. And I really appreciate it. And rest in peace. He did not die. He transcended along with all the other greats. And I believe that.
Yes, sir. I love it, Jerry, man. And guys, it worked out great to have Jerry on for this beginning because, he said it great. The guy was the first. This guy has just been taking his time to travel everywhere, promoting people, doing tests. I've met him several times. Just an amazing person. And you know what? Like, I know he's an amazing person by the person that's next to him. And Jamie Cashin is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. And so if you haven't met these guys, you know what? Look up Jamie Cashin and message him and just tell him we're thinking about him because I know this is a really tough time for Jamie. Willie Hicks and Regina on their show a couple weeks ago talked about how awesome Jamie was and is. And you know what? Right now, his mentor, just passed. But you know what? Like, he's been ready for this. You know, like he's been by his side. So, Alex,
Hey,
have you met Pat before? Master Burson.
I have met him before. That's big. So it's a lot. Jerry was just talking about, like, from him, like, where did his lineage go to? It went to Minnesota, which that's where I'm from. And so everybody who was ahead of me, like, it's a big deal for me. I should know him. I should meet him. And I got a chance to do both of those things. So, and yeah, there was a seminar he was given at one point, and I was there, and, you know, I'm young guy. I'm one of the guinea pigs, this kind of thing. You know how that deal goes. So that was, but it was cool to get a chance to be able to really hear exactly like what Jerry was saying. Like, there's only one first. He was the first original champion. He talked about, okay, I'll tell you a quick little snippet. Someone was tell me a story about, tell me a story about Bruce Lee, and someone didn't think he knew, and he goes, oh no, I met Bruce Lee first time after I won the first championship in Chicago. This really boisterous, arrogant Chinese man came up to me and says, I challenge you. Wow. And he's like, challenge me, turn us over, I'm the champ, back down. He says, I challenge you to an arm wrestling contest. I'm going to teach this lesson. He says, no, we have to arm wrestle Chinese style. And it's where you lock arms completely and you grip, and then you just have to turn over the hand. I'd never done before. Right. And he says that guy's arms, Bruce Lee's arms, were like his forearms were like steel cords. There's like, there's no way anybody was going to beat him at that. So I was like, all right, that was a fun little story, right, that you were a part of. So that was pretty cool. That's
cool, man. That's cool. So again, rest in peace. And we just want to honor him because of just what all he's done. So, and again, that's something that's part of our show. And that's why legends like Jerry come onto our show, because we appreciate the whole history. You know what I mean? Not just talking about right now. We talk about it all.
Tex Quando in the house, y'all.
Yes,
because
sir.
I always make believe I was from Texas, man.
Hey, me too. Oh, man. All right. So Fast Feet, let's talk about November 20th. Let's talk about the training you've been doing. I saw a couple videos today of your training, man. I'm pumped up and ready. What made you want to get out there and do this?
Well, so realistically, just a few months ago, whether people realize it or not, what Mike Tyson did with Roy Jones really stimulated a lot of people to start training again.
Yeah.
But to give props to legends who had done that before, you got to go to, rest in peace, the greatest of all time in martial arts, Joe Louis and Bill Wallace did it in the 1990s.
That's
they
right.
did an exhibition kickboxing, and people forgot about that. So it just inspired me.
I'll never forget that. That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's historical. I wish that would have been mentioned, because I was paid for view back in the days, you know?
Right.
And I paid for the view.
Yep.
So, but realistically, I think there's a great injustice that has been done in the martial arts community when people who have only had their best years were in their 20s. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think Sushi is better today than he was 10 years ago. Sorry to tell you, Sushi, I think you're better.
You're right.
And that being the case, I'm just trying to do my part. I'm 10 years old all over again. April 19th, 1976. No. I'm 55. It's the same thing. 5 and 5 is 10. Damn, it's my age. I can do whatever I want. I can call it whatever I want. And I'll be 11 next year. So I want to ask myself, or ask people, what would Jack LaLanne do at our age? Man, stop making freaking excuses. But when it comes down to it, when I do compete against people, I feel like a bully 9 out of 10 times, because they don't have what you consider the skill set. If I fight a guy in the 40s or even 50s, they've been training for 20 years. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You know, that is a long time, but realistically, it isn't a long time. Because I got a Rexu that's just about 20 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and I'm just keeping 100%, but it was difficult to get someone. I got a phone call from Exotic, Jean-Claude Lewis, and too many people, and he's partnered, of course, with Jesse Ray, and then my other partner over there, my buddy, I love with all my heart, Grandmaster, I should say Master Garth Benz, and that's the collective group of them. Of course, props to Troy Benz for winning the World Championships, by the way. Give him props.
Yes, congrats to Troy, man.
USA.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah, and old Java too. Props to old Java too for representing Boogie Down Bronx, you all. Anyhow, I had to give that props there. But so I'm always a martial arts fan, but quite often I'm a little not, as you guys know, not impressed with hitting the hoop, hitting just the backboard to
Yes,
score
sir.
the point, so to speak. Because I come from another generation. Of course, having Taekwondo as being the epitome of what I believe should be a version of fighting. So bottom line is that nobody would step up to the plate, man. And who did? Dr. Brian Bam Bam Crumb in the house, yo. My man turned around and said, he sent the message, says, hey, yo, wait a second. How about me? I'm down. I'm like, whoa. And if we would have contacted him, because to be honest with you, we started doing this back in August, and nobody was stepping up.
Right.
Right.
You put out the post that said, hey, I'm going to do a fight on Virtual Fight Tour. Let's do it. Someone needs to go. A legend or someone that is, yep.
Honestly,
yes,
I didn't think anyone was gonna take you up on your.
Hey, wait a minute. Was it my breath?
Honestly, I didn't think anybody was. No. Jerry, I didn't think anybody was gonna take you up because I would either be like,
wow,
no, I don't want any parts of that, or it would be like, I'm a young gun. I don't want to have any parts of that. I didn't think it was going to take you up on your offer.
You know what? I'm not sure if that's a compliment, because to me, there's a lot of people out there. Well, I appreciate that, but this is what I honestly believe. There's people right now that could whip my butt. They're just not coming out. I mean, there's guys like Jay Bell that's still in freaking shape right now. Keith Vitale still looks like he's in freaking shape. Super Dan Anderson's still in shape. We talking about a whole bunch of people and they're older than me. Even Joe Corley's older than me. I've never seen Master Joe Corley out of shape, man. There's a bunch of people out there that really live the part. And in between there, I've never seen Ibby Abdallah out of shape. No. I see that? That's right, my brother Ibby. And there's a bunch of other people. They just don't have the mouthpiece, so to speak. Maybe we don't have the reach that we probably should bridge. Right. I strongly believe that this is going to be the start of what will be people leading by example.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't play golf. I kick people in the head.
Right. This is what we do for fun, right? This is what we do. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Listen. Yeah.
Like last weekend, all right. So I went to normally we ask each other what we did over the weekend. Well, I'm going to put it in right now. I went to the Alamance Open. That was my first tournament I've ever been to in my life in karate. Right. I finally won the grand championship. Let's see, 20-something years later.
Yes.
And I defeated in the Weapons and Forms Grand Harry Carter. And then guess what? He came out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then guess what? He came out and beat me in the grand or in my division, and Harry still has it, man.
How much fun was that?
It was so much fun because I looked up to Harry when I was a junior. Man, I mean, he was killing it. And Harry is in his late 40s now, So again, he's another one that has changed, evolved, grown, and exactly what you're talking about, like he's someone we should see in this, like I remember I was telling Alex about, I remember watching Harry beat Jotty at the Junior Internationals, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him
go. I remember him as a junior. Remember, I'm seeing everybody as peewees and juniors coming up.
Exactly. And he's still he wore the his DKT Force One uniform.
There you go.
I loved it, man. So again, like it's great to see that, and again, we need to see these fighters out there, right, doing it.
Hey, but wait.
What other sport can we do it in, right?
Right, but not old men that used to.
No.
See, there's no need for that.
No, you're right.
Obviously, be better than ever as long as we nourish ourselves. Nutrition is key, guys. Age-specific training and exercises. The reason why people have injuries is because they're not taking care of the foundation, and that's health first. Health is wealth. And I've been preaching this for a long time because
you and me both, my friend.
Hey, I'm a sick child. I had 5 pneumonias by the age of 2. I was in the children's ward literally my first 2 birthdays. So nutrition I always knew was going to be important to me. Otherwise, I would have died from asthma many, many moons ago. That being the case, my joints are completely lubricated because I use what has won the awards for the best collagen. I'm talking about patent, because collagen itself is what creates cartilage. And most of us have fat knees and hips. So it comes down to it. Health. Then age-specific training. If you notice, a lot of times I'm doing slow motion sparring. Do a hook kick, roundhouse side kick to the head and do a body in slow motion. Damn, that's like some Tai Chi stuff right there, man. Not easy, but it literally decreases potential injury, increases quality of what would be techniques. And that's one of the so-called secrets that I hope hopefully people start jumping on that because it works.
Yes, sir. No,
Well,
listen, I agree so much with you, Jared. You know, you and I have had so many talks about this and have talked about how we can work together to make this work, right? To literally help other people. Because again, you know, I'm only 37, and I say only, but to some people that would mean old in karate terms, and that I shouldn't be able to kick the way I do.
Yep.
You know, and that's crap. You know, we need to learn how to prolong our lives and career. And karate is supposed to be something to help us do that, not hurt us.
Yep.
And some people's stigma is that, oh, well, you did martial arts stuff and I hurt my knees and this and that. No, there are things that you were doing wrong, and we weren't taking our health seriously. We were thinking that we could eat whatever we wanted and do whatever we want. Just think about it.
Yep.
And you know, as much as you get into your art, get into the nutrition, right?
Hey, health is wealth, man. I don't care. You could be a billionaire and you're dead, you know? I mean, come on. Let's think about this. But at the same time, I think it starts off with gratitude. I wake up with my eyes closed, guys. But I say, Lord, if you give me one more day, I'll help as many people as possible. I promise. And I open my eyes, go, hey, thank you. And I get going, man. I get up and at them. We've lost so many incredible people in recent months. And then when it comes down to it, I have to make believe I just haven't seen them. Because otherwise I'll be crying and be freaking depressed, man. Because I miss so many people that I'm fans of. That being the case, I know some people may want to see me fight and win. But those who want me to lose, come on down, punk. You know it ain't going to happen. What? I don't want to fight against me. I would never want to fight against me. The capital FAST feet, fast feet. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Well, how are those feet feeling? Yeah, how are your hips? How are your feet feeling?
Man, let me tell you something. I can honestly say, without being braggadocious, but just being grateful, I am doing techniques I have never, ever done before. I'm talking about in the and again, I would like to say, we mentioned it before, I believe that in the history of sport karate, I strongly believe that there's no one that has ever done more different or variety of techniques that I have on video to prove it than anybody. But I have new ones that I've never seen myself do, that I'm actually practicing and doing them. I'm like, oh my God. Can I only compete against me? I want to be better than me.
Right.
What happened in the past means nothing, except that we can use that as what would be the potential. But the future, man, it's a lot brighter. I'll be in better shape in 5 years because finally I got rid of some of those love handles, man. I don't know, hate handles that people are.
We got our man Anthony Price watching.
Hey, but again, perfect example. You know, we know that there's a lot of superheroes that are still alive, Anthony Price included. And when it comes down to it, it just breaks my heart that some people are like zombies, meaning their spirit is gone and their body's still moving.
Right.
Well, if you're blessed enough to still have your body moving, we might as well have some fun. And I know that, you know, there's a bunch of people that reached out that wanted to fight with me, and they did not meet the criteria of what would be legend. They could barely win today. However, that does not mean that we can't have another fight, because this was a legends fight. This was a legends fight. That doesn't mean that we can't have another freaking fight, because I'll gladly love to add you to my video highlight reel.
All right, so Fast Feet, before we go into we have another great fighter that's going to join us. Before we go into that, I want to talk about the rules of this thing, okay? I want to talk. So we have one round that's going to be continuous. Yeah, one round that's going to be continuous, one round that will be point. And so people are thinking, how's this going to work? You know, so whoever wins that continuous round wins that round. That's 1 point towards that person. Whoever wins the point round wins that round. That's 1 point towards that person. Then we go back to our VFT rules. A coin flip. So whoever gets it wins it. You choose continuous round or point round. The winner of that round wins it all, right? So we'll either go 2 rounds or we possibly get 3. Like, it's going to be exciting because we've never seen anything like this.
Well, let me tell you something. What happened?
All right.
In a nutshell, I strongly believe that a display of martial arts skills is more important than anyone individually.
Right.
So I believe, for whatever it's worth, that when it comes to the point, I might have an edge there. However, Bam Bam, talking about a professional boxer that was training for continuous contact, a legitimate legend, I say, hey, wait a minute. I would love to fight him in continuous contact because I believe that he might have the edge there possibly.
Right.
So I say, how about we do one of each? That's what I said. Because when it comes down to it, point karate is hard to do, man. If you notice, even when I do point, do you ever see me throw one technique, especially with a punch? I'm throwing combinations. I was, for whatever it's worth, I was the WACO United States champion in continuous contact, and I'm undefeated in continuous contact. But when it comes down to it, he has the edge in that. I strongly believe that when it comes to continuous, he has the edge. Just to make it fair and to show the display of two real deal martial artists at what would be the advanced level, because Bam Bam's in shape already, man. He is no joke.
He is, man. He is. Brian's been working hard. Okay, so again, I'm gonna fix this what I said. So it's not continuous at the end. It's a flip, and it's either 1 point sudden death or one more round of point. So it'll be point in the tie. So just want to clarify that. Jesse Ray just helped me out with that part.
A lot of action is the bottom line. We're gonna have a lot of action.
Guys, so again, if you haven't gotten your tickets, go ahead and do that. We are gonna have a ball. Jerry is pumped up. He has been working hard on this, man. And look at him. All right. So anything you have to say to Brian before we add you before we do something?
Hey, all I have to say is thank you, little brother, because if it wasn't for you, I'll still be here twiddling my thumbs trying to get somebody, because people were shook, and I don't blame them.
All right. Well, all right. Thank you, Jerry. We'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll have you on again sometime.
See you guys.
All right. So here we go. Man, that was good stuff.
Man, that is
Sorry
something
for all
else.
the technical difficulties. All right, here we go. We're going to add the other fighter in here. And, whoa, there he is. What's up, Brian? Bam, bam.
Hey, how you guys doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well.
Yeah, I just got finished doing my last workout for today.
All right. So
you're right on it.
Yeah, he's killing it. So those that don't know your name, explain to him where you're from and how long you've been involved in sport martial arts.
Oh man, well, I was born and raised in Washington D.C.
Yes, sir. DMV.
Washington D.C. I started competing. I started training in Taekwondo in 1975. At 5 years old, I started competing in 1982 at 12.
All right. Wow.
By the time I turned 15, I was a black belt. And I went to a big tournament here, and they moved me from junior team because I dominated the junior team division for so long. I went to one tournament here in D.C., Robert Everhart's tournament. He's deceased now.
Rest in peace.
I went to his tournament in 1985, and they moved me. He had a conversation with my dad because the parents didn't want their children competing against me. He talked to my dad. Said he think it's time for me to go to adult division, and I went to the adult division at 15 years old. Yes,
sir.
Okay.
And and the rest is history. I was competing at 15 with the adults. Learned a lot. I remember. I believe it was 1987, 88. I may have been 17, 18 years old. But I wasn't old enough to compete at the Team Atlantic tournament.
Okay.
And I remember my dad and I, we flew up to Boston, and that was the best experience I ever had in sport karate.
Yes, sir. Yo, Anthony Price, you being mean, man. Don't say he's old as hell.
Mr. Price in there. Hey, Mr. Price, how you doing?
Yes, sir. It's funny. All right, so you've been in this for a long time. What do you think about this fight? What are you thinking about? What's your mindset?
Well, my mindset. Well, I'm glad I had the boxing background, amateur and professional boxing background, to to pretty much guide me and people I had working with me, the head trainer right now. I'm keeping that under wraps. Who's working with me? He has plenty of experience too. So,
all right.
It is what it is.
Are you training with Floyd Mayweather? Come on now.
Nah. I know him, but no, nothing.
Oh,
like that.
now you're name dropping.
Yeah, got a name drop. All right.
No, we're friends, but no, not him. I missed him this past weekend in the area. I didn't go to the boxing matches, but no, definitely no one from boxing. This person is from karate. Been there and know what it's about.
Awesome.
Because this type of fight is different from regular tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regular tournaments, you're just working on skills and you don't know what you have in front of you. This here, I know I had Jerry Fontanez in front of me.
Right.
So,
so Brian, did you ever fight Jerry when you were fighting in Point?
Yeah, we fought one time in
one time after all these years. Wow.
Yeah, and I was back in I know I was on Power Up National Karate Team. Dixieland Nationals.
Dixieland, okay.
Dixieland National. I believe I fought, because I wasn't worrying about names and stuff like that back then. I just wanted to jump in the ring. Yeah. But I think I fought Jerry. I'm not sure, because Andre Richardson, he's like a historian in sport karate.
Yes, sir.
He sent a news article, a magazine article, and I lost to someone else. I lost to the light heavyweight division winner. So I won the middleweight division, and I lost to the light heavyweight division champion. But I believe Jerry and I fought, but I'm not sure. It's been so long ago. It's like it doesn't even exist.
Awesome. So what if people are going to tune into this fight? And again, we want all kinds of people to watch this, not just new, young, old, whatever, everyone. And we want people to watch this. What will you tell them? Like, what are we going to see in this fight?
This fight, I would say I know you're gonna see kicks, and I know Jerry's gonna come with the kicks. Yep. The people might see a cartwheel kick. They might see a scissors takedown.
Oh, a scissor! Yeah, that's right. We have takedowns in this fight, so if people don't know, in continuous and point, we're gonna get takedowns. I was gonna
bring that up. Yeah.
Well, in continuous, there are no. In continuous, there are no takedowns.
Okay, not in continuous, but in point, we're going to get takedowns.
In point fighting. And what people have to remember, and Jerry was out there too. I always mess with Jeff when I first talked to you about a year ago. I said, you came in way after me.
Yeah.
But, I'm as blessed to have people like Miss Linda Dentley in my corner, the late Steve Nasty Anderson in my corner.
Wow.
I remember Shavella Aaron. You had Peaches, the guys. I competed against the late Kevin Thompson. Matter of fact, when I turned 15, he broke me in. He hit me in for grand championship. He hit me with a reverse punch, and I walked around with a bruised sternum for about 2 weeks.
You said Kevin? Yeah. I mean, I think most of us, anytime we shook his hand, our hand was bruised for 2 weeks. So.
Right. If you weren't prepared for it, I mean, so
like I said, I used to hate being in that line when we would fight JPM, and Kevin was always at the end of the line. We all were like, oh God, our hand is going to be sore for the rest of the tournament after shaking Kevin's hand. He did on purpose too, man.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't wait for. I was glad when they had the pound come out.
That's right. Yeah.
and then I watched them do it a couple of times before, when he was, pretty healthy.
Yep.
Even when he gave a pound, it was like it was a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Like bam, like.
Oh man, much respect.
Yeah, but and then you had the smaller guys from the heavyweights that I watched and admired. You had Anthony Price, Richard Plowden. That was a Team Atlantic. That's why I had my eyes set. Those are the stars. So going to Boston that year was the night that Larry Holmes lost to Mike Tyson. I'll never forget it. That weekend, we met Boston, and I sat there and pretty much watched, the top dogs go to work.
Yep.
And fighting. So I would tell people I kind of want to bring back a lot of that stuff if the opportunity presents itself.
Awesome.
The somersault, you see the cartwheel, but the somersault.
Yeah, that's right. Billy Blank's somersault was insane, right?
Yeah,
I trained with Ibby, and he taught me that, and he told me like how to make it my own. It was cool, man. He was like, "Listen, you have the ability to do this stuff. Do it."
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like people need to do stuff like this. So it's cool. We saw it later on with Kim Do, someone like a Kim Do hitting someone with a Webster. Yep.
Yeah,
and
see,
I
know Ibby, but a lot of people that you're talking about, they came in after I stopped competing and went into amateur boxing and professional boxing.
Right.
And then when I came back, it was like a whole new group.
Yes, sir.
There's a new culture.
Yeah.
All right. So Brian, let's just say if people are coming to watch this fight, what can we expect?
Jerry going home a loser.
All right. I like it. All right. Oh, here we go.
Jerry going home a loser.
All right, which one do you feel better about, the point or the continuous? Because you're talking a lot about some things that you might bring up or might be seen in the point. Where do you feel better about?
Right now, and I would say I'll lean more toward point.
Okay. Wow.
Because
I'm looking at Fast Feet's face right here in the background. Wow.
He probably giving a look like he don't believe it. but I'm leaning more towards points because of what I've been working on, and Jerry hit it on the head. It's not like I just started training for this. Right. I was actually training for Devin Butcher, Eddie Butcher's son.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're supposed to fought back in August or November at Dennis Brown's tournament, but that was canceled. So and that was continuous contact. But I'm feeling really comfortable and confident with the point fighting.
Awesome. All right, so we got both you guys back on. Jerry, unmute yourself. One last statement before we finish and end our interview with you guys. Jerry, since
yes,
you had a little break and you listen, what's the last thing you want people to know about this fight?
Hey, all I have to say is, first of all, like I said before, thank you, little brother, for taking this fight. Only thing I can tell you is that it's going to be a barn burner.
Yes, sir.
It's a barn burner. And when it comes to it, yeah, Anthony Bledsoe, don't worry about it. I know what he can teach you. I know what you got to train with. And he knows what I can do too. So the only thing you got this wrong is that you need a haircut.
Yeah, but look, I'm not with Bledsoe. I'm not with him. I'm not with him.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, and it's funny.
All right, Brian.
He said it's funny why.
No, it's funny you mentioned Bledsoe, because we talked a couple of weeks ago, but no, I'm not with Bledsoe.
Okay. No. Hey, but listen, honestly, you're the only person that stepped up. I've thanked you 1,000 times. I just want to thank you again, because if it wasn't for you, I'll still be here twiddling my thumbs, man. What the heck?
Hey, and go ahead, Brian, and talk, and then I'm going to say something at the end.
about the fight.
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope everybody, when they tune in, they like what they see. But for the most part, they leave with something. They learn something.
Yeah, awesome.
That they go back and they can see 250-year-old guys still moving like they're young because we take care of our bodies.
Yes, sir. I love it.
I don't believe in the age thing. I'm like, hey, we can do it. And I've always looked at it, okay, I'm 51, but if I'm on the street and a 18-year-old try to hurt me, am I going to sit there and say, well, I'm not going to do anything because I'm 50 years old? I got to go to work. So, age is nothing but a number, and hopefully everybody will see that Jerry and I are in great shape.
Hey, I don't have to say nothing else after you said that, man. I love it because that's exactly what I was going to say. That was great. Guys, go to VFT right now. Go to myuventex.com. Book your I'm sure the in-person tickets are already sold out. So go and watch it on pay-per-view. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great night. And
I'm getting mine.
Yeah, me too. Tell everyone, no matter if it's your grandma, your grandson, your mama, your dad, I don't care. Tell them to watch it because you're going to be inspired when you watch this fight. So thank you guys so much. We will see y'all next time, and I'm sure both of y'all will be back on the show soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. You have a good one. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. All right.
Man, that was something.
That was fun, man. That
was cool.
All right.
It's like one of the
insiders.
times.
Let us know who you think's going to win. Let us know who you think's going to win. Insiders. We want to hear it in the comments. Y'all been a little quiet right now.
Well, I've been a little quiet too. It's one of the few times on the show where I can just sit back. No, it was Jerry. And I love Jerry, but that's like, how am I going to talk over Jerry? I can't.
It's true.
So it's fantastic. Yo,
thank you.
This is going to be a good one. I'm really glad that they leaned into the sweeps.
Yeah.
And how that's possible and how that's that's a thing that you can do that within rules. But it's not just a sweep. Brian talked about a scissor leg takedown.
Yo, yeah, he's talking about doing some
Kung
Lee stuff.
Dude, straight up, I'm not good at that. I can do it. I wouldn't say like I'm good at that thing. Because by the time
who's the best person you've seen do that? To me, it's Kung Lee. Like when I've seen Kung Lee, those fights do that.
Okay, he's by far the best. I would have to say if I was outside of Kung Lee, there was a guy called CB Bunkholt. Maybe some of the old timers might know him. CB Bunkholt was very good at that. I watched videos.
Who's the guy from I think it's Vegas or California?
There's quite a few.
What?
There's quite a few.
I know, but I can't think of his name. It's a crazy one right now. All right, hold on one second.
I kind of thought I think I saw a video of Jerry Prince doing a sweet one. So that was pretty cool. But like the scissor leg sweep, the one that Jeff was talking about, that Kung Lee's the best at that, right? I've never really seen that one happen like that before, so I'm excited to see that. But it was not even that. What else were we talking about? The somersault kicks, cartwheel kicks. All right. I mean, seeing all those happen at one time, that'll be interesting. So having to go to a coin flip. If it was 1-1, and I think it was kind of on paper, it was looking like Jerry might get the point, Brian might get the continuous, only because we know each of them to be the best at those specific things. If we would go to like sudden death, sudden victory, whatever you want to call it, if now it's like first point or one round, like that'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what that's going to turn out like.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting, just the whole fight, and I'm just glad that it's going to happen, And so, big shout out to VFT for making that happen. You know what? And some people, I'm not gonna say I think some people just don't give the veterans an opportunity, to show it off. And they think, oh, well, that's in the past. We don't need them anymore. No, what we do as an art
we have to
is important to show that, guess what? Martial arts is healthy for your life. You know what I mean? And that you can do this.
I want to lean into this
for years.
I want to lean into that right now because at the Waco World Championships, I didn't realize this till later, but David Colla, who's a phenomenal point fighter in Italy.
Yes, he is.
Was his retirement performance. And I remember thinking, like, you're young still, right?
Right.
And but he's a great fighter, right? And I started thinking, like, people think like, oh, this guy retired too late. He should have retired earlier. But that's someone else's perspective.
Opinion.
Like, don't put your opinion as to what they should do with their life. However, there are some that we do feel, man, you retired too early because you had it. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, who do you and the only reason I say that is because, let's say, like, okay, one that comes to mind, what I'll say is Pedro Xavier. I feel like
retired way too early.
8 more years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that's another, like, our expectations onto them. So one time, I'll never forget this, and this is recently meaning within a couple of years, right? Avery Plowden put out a post. Basically, I think it was about his dad. I want to say it was his parents' anniversary, right? And I talked to him about that. He says, man, a lot of people have talked to me about that post. And so it was one of the more profound things that he said. And what he basically did is he gave credit to his parents for being so selfless within their lives and really setting a great example, which was just fantastic. And he mentioned in his post that he himself feels like he's too selfish to do. But because he has, I know you guys can do this too. I have to be selfish. It's like getting a little child.
All right, Alex, I don't know what you're saying. So I know what you're talking about with Alex, with Avery's comment, where he was talking about that, and just continuing the legacy, right? You're chopping up on me. But let me just explain something that I had. And so for me, it was weird because I go back to, like, the first time that I heard someone say, "You still got it." And I was 21. And I'm sitting there like, I'm only 21. How can I still got it? Like, of course I got it. This is my prime years, right? And I remember it being like, that's just the craziest thing ever. It's just like, I've been in this game for so long that when people think you're older than you really are, right? And that happens to a lot of us, right? Like, again, I'm 37, and people wanted me to retire 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like, when you're 30, you need to retire, or let's be honest, like John Valera retired when he was 23? Like, that's crazy. Carmichael technically retired when he was 19, 20. Like, this is the craziest sport ever, right? It makes no sense ever, whatever. So, who are some people that we think retired way too early? A lot of forms people, I'm just going to tell you. A lot of forms guys. Jimmy Pham retired way too early. Let us know in the comments who you think retired way too early. Even though he was in it for a long time, I still think Matt Emming retired way too early. Alex, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I go in and out for a moment?
Yeah, you went out for a while, but yeah.
My bad, man. But I did catch up. Yeah, I thought all of them retired way too early.
Yes, Frank Jones is a great one that retired too early. Kalman Choka, and he still accomplished a lot, but still he could probably do more.
I think Chelsea Nash retired too early.
Yes,
but she gave a little insight as to why she wanted to step away.
Yep, on our show. When
when you that's right. Go back and listen to the show if you haven't, guys. So when you look at that, you go, well, damn. All right, here I am putting my agenda as to what you should do with your life because I want to watch the performance.
Right. Exactly. Right? Exactly.
Which isn't fair.
And we said Pedro already. I think Pedro definitely did because I think Pedro. I would have loved to seen Pedro and Jason Borelli fight.
Wow.
Oh my God! Imagine that, dude. Like just like we never really got that, right? It was crazy.
That should be a EFT match. Jeff, can you speak that into existence?
Jesse, book it. Book it.
Pedro Xavier and Jason Borelli, 3 rounds. Make it happen.
Wow.
Oh.
Look at Travis is getting all like he's foaming at the mouth too.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
It would be great.
Oh my goodness. This is 2 of my favorite fighters of all time.
and you know what? That dude is in shape. He's going to do it. Give him a few months to work on his point. I mean, he worked. He's at a karate school all the time. It's not like he just gave up and like went to like IT world or something. You know what I mean? Like
who, Jason?
No, I'm talking about Pedro.
Pedro, no, yeah, Pedro. Yeah. No, you see Pedro pictures of Pedro every now and then. Dude's ripped.
Oh, this is a good one that Andrew just said. Dallas Liu as an adult would be great. Oh man.
You know what? That is a fantastic point.
Yep. Great answer.
Great point.
You know another one that I feel like he never reached his full potential until his last year as a junior.
Rudy?
And then he disappeared. No, Craig Henderson.
Ooh.
Craig as an adult would have been great because
he had a different style. I liked his style too.
He had a different style. His style was really an AKA style, but he went to a whole nother level, right? And to me, I'm going to say it, and people will think I'm crazy. He's my favorite AKA athlete. I really believe that because of what he's done and the person he is. You know, great. Yes, Rudy could have done so much more. Would have loved to see that. Manny Brown is a great answer. Man, if people don't know who Emmanuel Brown is, you guys need to check him out. Look it up. Emmanuel Brown Karate. He is a stuntman right now. This guy is great. Yeah. He was one of the first ones. So when people talk about like Anthony Atkins, Manny Brown should be the next name you say right after.
Boom. That's a fantastic point.
Yep. Because this guy was doing the spin hook kick, swing through aerial, spin hook kick, swing through aerial twist, which people weren't doing. It's crazy, man. He was a great guy.
Yeah. Both of them did things that you were like, what is this? Like, I don't know how to process what I just witnessed.
Right. Great, man. Craig was awesome.
You know, I was sitting here pondering as you said that.
Yep, Marcel. Man,
and I think I would think the same about Craig Henningsen. But yeah, Marcel Jones is one of my favorites of all time. Marcel.
Me too.
Yeah. So look at that. Man. Tons of great people. People are saying this, but what they're really saying is they're giving like respect to saying, I loved watching you.
Yep.
I wish you would have done it more because you were that great.
Hey, you know what? Another one is Anthony Atkins. Anthony Atkins should have competed longer.
Anthony freaking Atkins got better every year.
He did. But here's the thing, which is funny in our sport. It was the thing I need to retire by the time I'm 21. What the heck?
In forms. And I don't understand that.
Especially in forms, yeah. In fighting, it wasn't the thing. Fighters was like fight till you're 40 or 50. Forms, for some reason, didn't make any sense. For me, I love the sport. I'm going to continue to do it forever. I'm going to be the opposite. We just watched someone like Edgar Cordova, who is in his 40s. And you know what? He's been in this game since he was 6 or 7. And he's been someone I looked up to, competed against, everything. He's been the man in NBL, and now he's becoming the man in NASCA and WKC. And you know what? He is not quitting.
No.
And you know what? Like, I'm not. Another person right here on the show, Andrew Cabalon, he's not.
No.
You know, Tim Wong is not. I got to compete with him this weekend. We had a great Korean battle. It was awesome.
Dope.
I mean, guys, like, we can do this forever long as we want. Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Thank you, John Claude, because we talked about it this weekend. Seneca Luther
like comes up on the show like every other week.
Because he retired when he was 10 years old. Okay,
I know that, but
how do you retire when you're 10 years old? Of course, you retire way too early.
But think about that. Like we're talking about
Imagine
someone.
if he retired when he was 8. I mean, geez.
But you see what I'm saying? Like we're talking about someone who peaked when they were 10 in this sport, and we bring them up like very often.
Yeah.
So here's one.
So when I go to tournaments where I live in North Carolina and Virginia,
Word.
everyone talks about what happened to Seneca. What happened to Seneca? So
it's time to give it up. You've been talking about it twice as long as you competed.
Yeah.
So here's one that blew my mind.
Thanks, Tim, but it's true, man. I enjoyed it, buddy.
Which was Gregorio Deleo. There was a point where he was like maybe the best fighter in the world, right?
Yeah.
The only reason why they thought that was because he beat Raymond at the Austrian Classic, right?
Right.
And he did, and he was that freaking good. And I mean, nobody could carry his lunch. I mean, that's how good this guy was. I mean, over in Europe, yeah, he had him. I mean, like you take Zolt, he was putting sweep clinics on Zolt.
He was.
People thought Dean Barry, and Dean Barry is fantastic at a sweep. Grillo was way better, right? And I remember talking to him. I'm like, dude, I was it was my first Irish Open, and I'm like, dude, how come you're not fighting? Like, you don't have a unit, you're not doing nothing? And he goes, oh no, man, I'm old now, I'm retired. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I know I'm older than you. And he's like, dude, I'm 30 now.
Oh my God.
And I was like, stop.
I don't get it, dude.
Get out of here. Are you serious? He goes, you can't do this stuff after you're 30. And I'm like, and I think at the time I was like 33 or 34 or something like that. And I told him that, and he goes, oh yeah, you should just stop now. And he said it with all sincerity too. He's like, yeah, you should probably stop.
I don't understand it, dude.
Thanks so much for that.
Ooh. Brett Shumray just put up a great one. So if people don't know who this is, Maxime Langlois, right? He was maybe the second or third NBL overall grand champion in fighting. He beat Jerry Fontanez to win that. I think it was in 1992. So it might have been the third one. And after that, we never saw him again. Like, it was crazy, right? He was like, I won the biggest thing there is, and I'm done. And he was a great fighter. And I think he won like either the flyweight or the featherweight division. So again, we're talking about big history. Who else beats heavyweights and light heavyweights at that weight class, right?
That's a great
point. We're only talking about people like Robbie and Joe Fife and those types of people, right? So Maxime was a great fighter. I just remember seeing his face in the magazine and be like, this guy's little. Like, what's going on? This is awesome. Like, he beat big bad Jerry Fontanez. Like, it was cool, man.
Yeah. I guess another one, last one I'll mention for forms, and I still cannot believe it, is Josh Kahn.
Yep, Josh Kahn's a great one, man.
Wins the diamond ring and is like, well, that's it for me.
I'm done. He showed up at a few tournaments, but other than that, yeah.
And I talked to his brother Jake a lot, right?
Me too.
Because I like the both of them a lot. And then he's like, yeah, man, I'm not quitting, but I don't know, can't get him out. He just wants to go do another thing. So I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe it. And he says, yeah, think about it. To him, that's the greatest thing he can accomplish.
Right. We're getting lots of good names. Sean Adams, the Alston family, Hakeem, Shaw, Naeem. I fought Naeem. Fun time. Akbar, all those guys. Great names. All right, so we're going to finish this show on the way that you probably wanted to hear us start. Oh, another great one.
Yeah, let's go right into it.
Scarduzio was a great one.
Vinny Scarduzio was great. Okay, so let's just, over the weekend, listen, I'm going to take it hilariously because that's the way I took it. So if y'all haven't looked at and heard the rumors of Tyreek Saint's posts on Saturday, it was an event, right? It was so he had, I don't know how many there were, like 5 or 8 posts or something like that. It was hilarious. And he just kept going. But when he had a few of them, named us in a couple, named me in a couple.
Well, your name, but our show.
Yeah. No, he named me. All right. And so, but what he says, whoever thought putting a Z-list fighter and a forms dude on a show together talking about fighters was a good idea. And when I read it, I was dying laughing, right? So
No,
I had to.
he said he didn't say putting them together. He said to talk about or telling fighters how to improve themselves or something like that, right?
Which we don't do.
We don't do that at all. So
because I don't really care what you guys do.
Right.
Right. I'll tell you what I think should happen. Whether it doesn't matter to me whether you guys who does what. Right. So then, and so that I reached out to him. I was like, hey man, I thought that was hilarious. Right. And then what I gathered from just a quick little response from him was that he's like, you know what? We deserve our respect too, within meaning like what he's accomplished and what really like the Ben's camp has accomplished as well. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right.
He's right, but he must not listen to our show. So.
And then I thought about it.
And
I said, wait a minute. Jeff, do you remember who my first ever competitor of the week was?
It was Tyreek.
Yep. We all agree that in America, Bailey Murphy is the best fighter That's it. He's the best fighter. When Tyreek and Bailey fought each other in VFT 1,
who were the only two people?
Who did both of us pick to win that fight?
Yep. You and I, we both chose Tyreek.
When we talked last week about how everything went at the Waka World Championships, who do we bring up almost immediately?
Troy Benz. 10-point everybody.
So what the fuck do you got to talk about?
Right. What are you complaining about?
What do you got to say? Like, I don't get
it. When we talked about the 1-year anniversary of VFT, what was the big thing I said? Of everything that we've noticed in VFT, we should notice that Ben's is the best school. That these guys have shown that they have won everything and they can do it, right? So
I think we talked about how they were like, they didn't lose.
Yeah, they didn't lose. They maybe won. They lost one fight. And that was the Bailey Tyreek fight.
That's it.
So
and in that fight, we picked him to win.
Yeah.
So what
are you complaining to us about?
At one point, I thought about it. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. I giggled hard when he said Z-list fighter and a forms dude talking about fighters. I giggled hard. Listen, you're not going to hear me talk about how great I was. Because listen, I'll tell you right away. I know what I was in my competition days, right?
Right.
I was an excellent, above average talent who performed a very slightly above average, right? I was near elite level talent who just barely broke over average as far as my end performance. Right. And I'm the one saying it. So I'm not going to come out here beating my chest, talk about who can be this, who can be that. So it's whatever. But listen, what the kind of takes I have, and I know what my opinions are, right? Some people think like I say them just to say them. Jeff, everything I go out there, I believe.
You believe. Yeah, no, I know.
100% of everything that I say. I'm not saying anything just to get a rise out of people. I say what I say. Sometimes I'll have to look at that and go, okay, while I believe that, I could word that differently. That's been the case a couple times. So with that, like, I can't really get upset at somebody having an opinion about me, because that's the same thing I'm doing.
That's where,
right? So if you're going to be upset at me, it's like, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. So go ahead, right? I'm certainly not going to get mad about it.
For me, all right, so here's my deal. Don't limit me to this or that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, for you, that makes sense.
Yeah. Don't downgrade me to this, because I'm not doing that to you, Tyreek. So again, I'm more than just a forms competitor. All right. You've been to my tournament. I've been a promoter. I've been an official. I've been a martial. I'm a martial artist more than anything. Okay. So I've done every position there is in this sport. So I do have a say, and I have a right to just my opinion, just like you do. All of us have a right to our opinion. So, but again, none of us ever, I know I haven't told people how to fight or whatever it was that he said in that comment. Right. So that's my only thing that kind of pisses me off.
Who knows? Like, I might do it in the future, though.
Right.
I'm not
Downgrade.
saying I won't.
No, but whatever. But it's like, don't downgrade.
Well,
Like
why? Let him do whatever he wants.
what
if
I've
he
done,
wants to.
you know?
I mean, he shouldn't, but go ahead.
Huh?
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, why? Just let him. He shouldn't do it, but if somebody's going to, let him.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, it really isn't, because here's the deal. My whole career in sport martial arts, people have done that, so I'm used to it. So it's not a big
That's
deal.
a very good point. So here's what you don't find a lot in like sport martial arts, right? Is you don't find a lot of high level performers at either forms, weapons, or fighting
Right.
continuing for decades doing either forms or fighting when they're high level at the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't see it a lot. You don't see it often.
Right.
Like I told you, one of my favorites was Marcel Jones, right?
Yeah.
He did it all the time, right?
Yep.
Talk about John Sue. John Sue did it all the time, but you don't get a lot of.
No, like I've done it. Someone like Harry Carter has done both weapons and forms. Wherever he goes, he wants to do his weapon. Edgar Cordova is a great one, man. This guy does
That's a very good example.
everything, you know, and so we don't see much of it. Of course, you know, Casey, Marks, Nash, and Kevin Thompson. You know, it's just
Ross Levine is a fantastic example as well.
another one. I mean, just like we see it, respect it.
But how come they
talk
don't
down
say
to it.
you? That's what I'm wondering. How come nobody says it about you?
But I don't know. You know, it just is what it is. You know, because here's the deal. Over the past few years, like I haven't been able to compete nationally as much. But when I go to tournaments, I do everything. So it is what it is. I'll be at AKAs this year, so I'm excited to do it all. And we'll see how it works.
Good.
So,
It's not going to be in Chicago this year. Did you know that?
what?
It's not going to be in the city of Chicago.
Oh, the city. All right, whatever. I thought I was gonna have to switch my flight to like
No.
Louisville or something.
No.
Thanks, man.
No, it's gonna be in Schaumburg, which is cool. It's like where the streets of Woodfield is, like a super big mall, but it's a whatever, it's a mall. But it's a cool area. I like being around there.
So how close is it to the airport?
Closer.
Closer? All right, good. I'm good. That's all that matters to me. All right, man. So anything else we gotta talk about? I mean, who knows?
You know what? There's a couple other topics juicy ones that I want to talk about. But Jeff, let's save it for next week.
Let's do it next week.
Because I can't envision we don't talk about it for 25 to 35 minutes. That's
Agreed.
how good they are.
Agreed. We haven't got too many comments today. Oh, let's see. Yep, he's entitled to opinion, and so are we. Let's talk about that. As you get older, you specialize. Boom. Yep. Look at Terry Kramer. Yep.
Yeah. Terry.
Oh, this is a good one, Drew. Thank you. Ramon, man, dude. He does it all, man. From Puerto Rico, from Velocity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John Valera was a great fighter.
So people mention I never saw him fight.
You never saw John fight? I did many times.
No.
When he was on Prestige and Force One. So
yeah, I think by the time I was really paying attention to everything in the
the
tournament,
last time he fought was 94, though. 94 was
right. So that was, I think, about 94.5, probably 95 was when I started paying attention to everything that was happening. So I never personally saw him fight. Right. I did see videos of him fighting, though.
I've seen Mike Chat fight. I've seen Carmichael Simon fight. I've seen all of them fight. So, yeah.
Well, for all those forums guys out there that say forums guys don't fight, false.
You can do it. You can do it. All right, guys, let's end it. Thank you so much. Hey, if you hadn't gotten anything from this, check out Virtual Fight Tour VFT 11, November 20th. It's going to be great. Robbie Lavoie, James Poor.
We're going to talk about that one. That's going to be good.
Ben's verse next level. I mean, my God.
Now listen. All right, insiders, Jeff, everybody. I would love to say I'm going to be back next week, and I might.
Yes, maybe.
Who knows? We are on baby watch big time right now. So Jeff had to call. Jeff texted me earlier today. He's like, "Hey, are we still good?" And I'm sure you were mentioning, he's like, "Am I at the hospital? Are we having a baby?" Because we're really close. Baby brother's going to be here like any moment. So yeah, I'm probably not going to put like Facebook posts out there or whatnot. So this will probably be the only place I really talk about it.
Right. So we'll see. Next week I may need to get a, like we did before,
Yeah,
a special
maybe
guest.
people can audition for Who Wants to Be
Yeah,
the
we might need an audition.
for Jeff.
Yeah. And then the next week I'm going to be gone because I have a show I'm going to.
Well, let's hope he's here before then
Yeah, me too.
or after.
All right, guys.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.